Hey, Cody here with Creation Outdoors, and I'm back on a tree. It's November 3rd, Election Day, and so I can't think of a better way to spend this afternoon than out in nature, just letting the world pass me by. So stay tuned because you never know what's going to happen. What a difference a week can make. Last week I was in North Dakota and it was 11 degrees the morning that I went into the stand, and now it's trying to touch 70 today, November 3rd in Minnesota. So it's an amazing time of year, but it's hard to say what this warm weather is going to do to deer movement. This is the first time I'm actually hunting this piece of property. It's a piece of private that I got access to actually through my wife, so thank you to her. But again, it's similar to the places I've been hunting before, where it's me and half a dozen to 10 other guys that hunt this piece. But this is actually the land that I got my buck on last year. I'm not in that spot right now, but it definitely has potential. So the setup for tonight is I'm at the top of this ridge, and this ridge really acts as a travel corridor. Now there's this cornfield behind me that they just combined yesterday, so we'll see how that plays a role tonight, but this ridge is just full of sign. Right behind my tree there's a very big fresh scrape. There's a couple of scrapes right below me here, and there's probably 10 rubs in this sumac grove right here right in front of me, so I've got a pretty good view, and they actually call this location the Stairway to Heaven because there's this old permanent stand here in front of me that historically has had an exceptional view, especially in the fall. So I've got a great view tonight. It's super comfortable. I'm not cold, but it's hard to say what will happen for deer movement tonight. But I'm just gonna settle in and really just enjoy being out in the woods tonight. Thankfully we've got a strong wind for tonight, just blowing perfectly up this ridge where I envision the travel will be, and back out into this field. I'm pumped because this property has a long history of some seriously big deer, and I can show some of the pictures here, but I wasn't able to get in touch with the landowner up until now. So I'm thankful that I got in touch for this, absolutely perfect time of the year. But I would always be respectful of the landowners, because they are trusting you with being stewards of their property. So having a respectful relationship with them is super important, even when you're excited to get out and hunt. So I'm very grateful. I'm glad I get to hunt this spot, and it's full of anticipation because you never know what could show up, especially this time of year. Part of the night here. The wind's calming down a little bit, but still perfect. Pretty slow and quiet so far, but that's, I think, to be expected with how warm it is. But I'm okay with just being out. It's just an awesome night to sit in the woods. And this point deer are just a bonus. First deer of the night. close. So close. But man, that was an exciting night. I didn't have really high hopes because it was supposed to be so warm, and it was. But the wind was perfect for that spot, and just a couple yards away from getting a shot. So I ended up sneaking out of there. I left nearly everything in the tree. I did not want to make as much of a disturbance, as it would take to get everything out of the tree. So left most everything up there because I'll be back out tomorrow evening, and it's supposed to be the exact same wind. So we'll give it a shot then. I'd like to go in tomorrow morning because it's supposed to be the same wind, but my wife and I have an appointment for our baby, so that takes precedence. But learned a lot. Learned exactly where that buck was bedding. Especially with that wind, and based on the size of that timber, he was within 100 yards of me the entire night. So I feel good that I got set up and everything quietly, and then he came out and nearly gave us a shot. So we'll be back at it tomorrow. Definitely high anticipation, and it's a great time of year to be out regardless. So it's supposed to be warm again, but we're going to give it a shot. So until then, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe because we may just get this buck down after all. See ya.